Have you ever coughed and noticed that there was something that came out from your cough, something whitish to yellowish in color and had a really nasty smell? If you have, you had a tonsil stone. Tonsil stones are actually quite common and they are a very common cause of bad breath. In today's video, I'll be talking about tonsil stones, some possible causes and how you can actually get rid of them. Tonsil stones, also known as tonsilloliths, that's a tongue twister, right? Are calcified deposits of food debris and bacteria that form within the crypts of the tonsils. When you open your mouth and look at the back of your throat, there are two oval-shaped clouds of tissues at the back of your throat. Those are the tonsils. They are actually protective in function in that they help to trap bacteria and other harmful substances before they enter the body. These tonsils actually have spaces that we call crypts, which can actually trap food particles and bacteria. When these don't get dislodged, they can actually form together, solidify or calcify, forming tonsil stones. Some possible causes of tonsil stones will include poor oral hygiene. When you have poor oral hygiene, you have a lot of plaque in your mouth, which is filled with bacteria, and then you have probably food particles that are also left over. So all these can eventually form together and increase your chances of having tonsil stones. If you're a chronic mouth breather, it means that you have the tendency to have a dry mouth. And this is because of the reduced flow of saliva. Saliva has a cleansing action. When there's reduced flow of saliva, there's every chance that you can have dehydration, stutter, and this can increase your chances of having tonsil stones. If the crypts in your tonsils are huge or deep, you have the higher chance of having bacteria and food particles getting lodged within those crypts, which can also increase your chances of having tonsil stones. And finally, if your tonsils have been inflamed for a long period of time, what we call tonsillitis or chronic tonsillitis, you can actually have an increased chance of having tonsil stones. When it comes to the size of a tonsil stone, it actually varies. Some can be as small as a rice grain, while some can be as big as a pea. Some common symptoms of a tonsil stone will include a discomfort or a sensation that you have something being stuck at the back of your throat, which will actually prompt you to want to cough. Sometimes you can actually see the tonsil stone when you look at the back of your throat. If they are big enough, they can actually be visible. Bad breath or halitosis is another common symptom because tonsil stones have an unpleasant smell to them, which can contribute to bad breath. Persistent coughing, like I said earlier, that sensation that you have that something is stuck at the back of your throat can actually prompt you to cough. So you keep coughing, trying to dislodge the tonsil stone until it comes out. And also, depending on how often you've been having these tonsil stones, if your tonsils are inflamed, it can actually also lead to infection. So what can you actually do to get rid of tonsil stones? Well, there are a few things that you can actually do to reduce your risk of having tonsil stones. Some things you can do is gargle with warm salt water. This can actually help to loosen the tonsil stones and dislodge them from the crypts of the tonsils. Coughing forcefully or clearing your throat can also help to dislodge the tonsil stones. If you have a water pick, you can actually use that to flush the tonsil stones because the force from the water can actually help to dislodge them, eventually eliminating them. And if you can use a Q-tip, a cotton swab to take off the tonsil stones from the tonsil. So is there a way to actually prevent tonsil stones? The first is to practice good oral hygiene, which means brushing and flossing as recommended. Keeping your mouth hydrated by drinking water as often as possible during the day. This helps to increase your flow of saliva and prevents your mouth from being dry. Avoid anything that can contribute to a dry mouth, which means reduce your intake of alcohol and stop smoking tobacco. And finally, I will advise that you actually start scraping your tongue because the tongue can actually accumulate a lot of bacterial plaque on it, which can also contribute to tonsil stones. So you can get a tongue scraper to help you do that. If you have any other tips on how you got rid of your tonsil stones, please you can share that in the comments. With that, I've come to the end of this video. If this was helpful, please give a like, share and leave a comment, and also don't forget to subscribe because that way you get notified when I post new videos, and I'll see you in the next one.